So Andrew Sobel, you just participated in our breakfast dedicated to building client for life in the digital world. I think everybody really liked it. What are the three things you think are the most important things to do to develop great relationship today?
Sure. So Olivier, let me try to summarize a couple of the things that we talked about with the group. First of all, I tell all my clients to lower their threshold to see a client. And what I mean by that is a lot of professionals feel they have to have a great idea, a big PowerPoint presentation, some special update in order to go see their client. Whereas what you need to do is actually have a very low threshold, a low barrier to go see your client, because you can call them up and say, let's have coffee, I want to just share some things that we're doing with other clients, or ask them some interesting questions about their business, or share, if you're working in their organization, share some observations about their company. So my first recommendation to people is always lower your threshold. The more you talk with clients, the more you learn. The more you learn, the more valuable you become to them. Makes sense? The second thing is you have to get rid of what I call the expert mindset. So you have to be expert to work with clients. I mean, that's why they hire you, because you've got deep expertise. But I think clients hire experts, but then they keep people who are advisors. So that doesn't mean an advisor is something different than an expert, because every trusted advisor also has expertise. What it means, though, is you have to develop these additional skills. This idea of asking powerful questions and listening, of building personal trust, not just professional credibility, of what I call creating a buyer, not just trying to sell and push, being proactive, not reactive. And that's actually the third thing that I would mention, this idea of agenda setting. So when you have the expert mindset, you tend to wait for the client to call you when they have a problem. But that doesn't work anymore today. You'll be out of business. So I talk about agenda setting, which is, it's first understanding your client's 3 to 5 most important priorities, and it's going to them with ideas, with thought leadership, adding value, and not just talking about today's business, but anticipating. So that's really agenda setting. It's going to the client, it's going deep into their planning cycle. So you're saying, you know, Olivier, here are some trends today that are going to affect your business tomorrow. And here's how it could affect you. And so it's a very forward-looking discussion, so that you're actually helping your client to anticipate. Now, the reason I think that's so important, aside from the fact that you're adding value, is it gets you sole source business. Because when you're reacting, the client is already going to ask 2, 3, 4 firms to bid. But if you can get into their forward planning cycle, then you can co-develop the idea. And you have a much bigger chance of having either sole source business, where you're the only one asked to propose, or where you're kind of privileged. It's privileged source. And then the last one I would just mention is the idea of the powerful questions. I tell all my clients, for every client meeting, prepare 3 great questions. Questions that are a little surprising, questions which get at why the client wants to do things, you know, questions that help you learn about the client's motivations and so on. But just very simple, 3 questions for every client meeting, and you'll have a much better discussion.